Welcome to Enduring Places, a series where we answer questions owners may have about increasing resilience in their existing buildings. For this conversation, we've brought together experts in building assessments and tune-ups who will talk about high-value steps owners can take to increase a building's resilience without undergoing major renovations. Assessments are often driven by building owners seeking to save on energy costs or other operational costs, or simply needing guidance on developing strategies and what to tackle, when to tackle it, and how much it might cost to improve their facility for optimized performance in the future. So Caitlin, let's start off with you and a quick discussion on building codes, which as a code analysis is a big area of focus for your team. What are some of the common misconceptions about building codes and how they impact renovations?
The most common misconception is that when we're renovating an existing building, the entire building needs to be brought up to current code and standards. However, that's not the case. The International Existing Building Code and Energy Code apply in most jurisdictions, and the required upgrades for existing buildings are based on the scope of each project. More specifically, the thresholds are typically based on the size of the project, the area of the building that's being impacted, and then there's other thresholds that are based on the cost of the project. This is a lot of information, and we can help building owners and property managers by defining the specific thresholds that apply to existing buildings so they can understand the impacts for their intended projects. This allows them to make strategic decisions about the timing and scope of capital projects.
Great, thanks, Caitlin. And you mentioned the energy code compliance, which most owners are concerned about because energy costs are increasing. And I know a lot of our owners are looking to improve their building's performance and reduce their operational or OPEX costs, but they've got to balance those changes against code requirements and capital budgets. So Charlie, your high performance building and sustainability teams really shine at identifying those opportunities and methods to improve energy savings. Could you talk a little bit about some of the impactful steps owners can take to start realizing some of those savings?
Yeah. So we typically think about energy savings in two strategic buckets: operational improvements associated with OPEX funding sources that usually have a pretty quick payback, and then energy conservation measures associated with CapEx for deeper savings but longer paybacks. And to dig into both of these, we typically start with developing energy models to simulate savings associated with these measures, with a detailed understanding of how these buildings currently operate today by utilizing a combination of utility bill evaluation and BMS trend data reviews if we can get our hands on that info. And from this process, we really start to learn what operational improvements could make sense.
What are some of the big ticket items that you do see when you do these analyses in terms of reducing energy costs and improving savings? Are there common threads across different projects, or what sort of things are you seeing?
Yeah. So for example, we performed an energy audit for a 2.5 million square foot office tower recently, and we found about $350,000 worth of related savings associated with HVAC control devices. So that was roughly about 15 cents per square foot for those savings. The majority of these measures that we found were outside air dampers not actuating correctly, or VFDs left in hand, and air handling units not operating correctly to some of the static pressure sensors associated with them. And so these are common measures we typically find during our studies and evaluate as part of the energy auditing process. But if we are executing a retrocommissioning exercise simultaneously, it's likely that we'll find additional measures for savings.
Got it. So evaluating existing building systems and how they're performing is something that WSP can obviously help with in terms of having an owner manage their building in the correct way. And really retro commissioning is a primary focus of ours in a tool of ours and that we can use in that endeavor. And like you mentioned, it's especially important around HVAC controls because they can be really complicated these days. And over a building's lifetime, they can change their performance in negative ways. So retro commissioning can be a really important tool. And Stephanie, your commissioning team is really strong at that process and helping owners identify those kinds of optimizations. So maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Our team performs retrocommissioning by evaluating the current equipment, systems, and building automation system. And we do this through two main ways. The first is by visually inspecting each piece of equipment in the building. We use our proprietary software application and record evaluation statistics for each individual piece of equipment. The second way that we do this is by writing and performing test scripts in which we put the systems through their paces to see, are they running efficiently? Are there any pieces of equipment that aren't performing well and possibly need to be replaced or fixed? We can take this data and actually convert it to a format that integrates with an owner's existing database. With these two main pieces of information, the owner can now make an assessment as to their capital outlay costs at the 6-month, 1-year, and 5-year plan. We were able to do this for a large financial company recently. Our team was commissioned to evaluate the equipment in every single building owned by this company across the United States. We were able to use our proprietary software application, take that data and integrate it into their current database for all their equipment. We can do that for them. We can do this for you.
So retrocommissioning is seems like it's pretty adaptable and pretty useful to our clients, and it's a great service that we offer. So thanks, Stephanie, for describing that for us and taking us through that. And today we've talked about only 3 aspects of resilient existing places that WSP can help owners with. There are actually many more, but unfortunately we don't have time to run through them all. So we hope this short session was helpful in illustrating how we can bring together a wide range of services to help you with your building, help you ask the right questions, make the right decisions at the right time for the right reasons. So thank you very much.